Hi, everyone. My name is Liz, and I will be your host today on 7 Minute Demos. And the reason that this 7 Minute Demos exists is because I love learning about new technologies and seeing what all's out there. But at about the 7 minute mark, when someone is giving me a demo, my eyelids get super droopy and I don't want to hear it anymore. So, the challenge for 7 Minute Demos is for all of our new technology companies, not new, some are old, to give us the best demo they can and highlight the best features that they want to highlight in 7 minutes. We then have 3 minutes for me to ask questions, and those questions can come from you, they can come from me. So you guys can drop them all in the chat, and I will moderate some questions in here. And then at the end, once all four of our companies have gone, we will have time for more conversation, Q&A, and things like that if we didn't get anything covered. So, my contestants for today include Andrew with Backups, Faith with Gotcha Finder, Oren with Whirl, and Matthew with Noonify. And we're going to find out exactly what all of these tools do. Some are new, some are old, like I said, but all of them are going to highlight their features. So, Andrew, I am putting you on the spot. Are you ready to go first?
All righty, let's do it.
All right. Fun fact, Andrew was at our IMAX Secret Family Reunion party and did indeed win a spot on Secret Family Reunion and will be going to a secret destination with us. So let's see if he can contain that excitement while he gets through this demo.
I'm using that excitement to get me through the demo, so here we
All right.
go.
Fantastic. So I'm going to pull up my timer and not my calculator. I do that every time. Let's do the timer instead. I've got 7 minutes on the clock and let's go.
All righty, so welcome everybody. Thank you for taking the time. I'm gonna, in 7 minutes, try to explain to you a whole lot of features and functionality. So bear with me here, but really the part I want to focus on most are the things that make us unique. Now, quick about backups. We are very much focused on the back of house operations side of your event. So we are trying to make sure that you live less in spreadsheets and get more time to actually collaborate with people and focus on the things that really matter. So we are a centralized, collaborative, real-time platform for all things back of house. We'll get into really what that means, but two things that you want to keep in mind as you're looking through the platform and we're kind of talking about what's going on. The first is the concept of areas, which you'll see over here on the left. Your areas are all the physical breakdowns of the spaces within your event. So these are things like your green rooms, any of your back of house areas, but also your stages, your breakout rooms, all different pieces that physically make up your event. The other piece is collaborators, and collaborators is really anybody that you are collaborating with on your actual event. So this could be vendors, this could be speakers coming into the event, it's all the people that you work with to build the actual event. It's not so much your attendees. So that is really the big shift between us and a lot of other platforms. We don't focus on anything attendee facing. So we're not doing apps, we're not doing websites, we're not doing registration, that kind of stuff. We're all about the back of house pieces. So as I jump into a collaborator, there's quite a bit of different things that I can really collaborate on and interact with the different people that are working in my event. The first that I'll show is files. We are a full service file platform, so we can actually replace your Google Drive or Dropbox. We give you the ability to share different files with people via links. We have a whole review process built in, so you can assign reviewers and really get feedback on files, leave comments, all your different versions and formats, all that can live directly inside the platform. Outside of that, we have the ability for you to list crew underneath each one of your collaborators. So for all the companies that you're bringing in as collaborators, they can list out all their crew. It lets you define a series of different custom attributes. So where you need to collect information that might be more than just a name and a title, you can define as many custom attributes as you want, like maybe a t-shirt size if you're getting volunteers. And rather than you having to collect that information via email and pull it all in, you can actually just have them log into the platform and fill out their crew profile, making it a lot easier to collect that information. Another big piece is schedule. We actually take this similar to what you're used to seeing inside of Outlook. You can organize all the schedules that you have for your event. Here you're just seeing my personal schedule plus the schedule for this collaborator, so you can kind of see a side by side, but actually at a full event level, you can see every area, every collaborator, and easily kind of break through all those schedules. Another piece that's going to feel pretty familiar here is if you need to go all the way down to minute by minute, we actually have full service minute by minute rundown builders in here as well. So very similar to what you're used to seeing inside of something like like ShowFlow, that's the word that I wanted. Very similar to like what you're used to seeing inside of ShowFlow. You can build as many columns as you need and build out your minute by minute run of show. So that kind of takes us through some of the high level pieces that you'd get with a collaborator, but then we break into where we're really usually deep inside the spreadsheets, and that's with an advance. And advancing is really all about grabbing all the details that you might have from your different collaborators. You might be wondering, well, if everybody's a collaborator, how in the world am I actually going to kind of see the differences between them? These modules are ultimately how you differentiate. So here I've got an example of someone that might be a production company. And so this production company has the ability to advance things like the vehicles that they're bringing, so I can build dock schedules. They need some heavy equipment that we're going to be renting for them, credentials for their crew, packages that might show up on site, labor, and then also getting into audio, video, lighting, and power needs that they might have. So they can submit all that information to us. And I'll show in a second what that starts to look like. But a different view would be if we had somebody who's more of a speaker type. In their case, I need to know what credentials they have for the team that's coming in, and then what audio, lighting, or video needs they might need. So they have content that we need to show that we have to collect from them. They have specific lighting requests because they're speaking on stage. So they have that for that theater space, but then for their green room, they have some hospitality requests that they might want to put in so they can have drinks or food or things available to them in their green room. So we have the ability to customize simply by setting up our different collaborators, what information we want to collect, and push all that information instead of in spreadsheets and emails back into a platform. From there, we can go through what we call our procurement process. And this is where you can take all those different requests that you're getting, you can run them through a set of approvals, and then start to build out your shopping list. So you take all your approved requests, you start to build out the things that you actually need to go get, and that lets you actually build out orders. And this is where it's super helpful to grab the RFQ that we generate for you and send it off to your catering vendor if it's hospitality needs, send it off to your production vendor. So you can put together these sheets that are real easy to send off and start getting quotes back from people about everything that you need. The other place that all your advanced information starts to go that isn't asset-based is into your advanced manager's dashboard. And this is where you can start to see where you're missing details, where things still need approved, where you got to go chase people down for different information. So it gives you a nice roll-up view of where you still have some to-dos on the event that you're working on, so you can start to gather information. And then the information that has been gathered, you can start to understand broken down by its different categories. This is super helpful if you have someone running a breakout room or a different space on the event. You could simply sort this information by its area. And so I could look at just the theater stage, and then I could come in and actually export that information to a day sheet packet that they can then take and run their whole space with all the information about the speakers that are coming in, any slides they might have, all that broken down real easily into a packet you can hand to people running the room. So that kind of takes us through Advance, which is a big bulk of what we're trying to pull out of all the spreadsheets and all the details. So I'll quickly run through some of the other features that are built into the platform. We also provide an email address that you can use for every single one of your events. So you have a full email inbox that you can have people send communications directly into. That way your whole team can kind of work from one central event inbox. This lets you be a little bit more centralized with some of that communication. We also give you some AI features on top of this to summarize those emails and then start to take action so you don't have to do as much data entry. We have an accounting system for your events. This is super helpful for you to break down the actual accounts that your events have, all the different budgets that you might have inside the event, but then also start to represent your different collaborators with accounts. So you can start to track how much money have you actually already paid out to that person, what was your settlement, if you have billbacks that you need to deal with, all of that can be rolled up into transactions. And we start to give you a nice cash flow view of how is money truly moving from ticket sales all the way through your entire event to give you a little bit better budgeting view there. And then I talked a little bit about crew. With that crew piece as well, you can see it from an overall manner. So if I start to check off all those different custom attributes that I filled in, if I'm actually running the event, it's really easy for me to come through and start to understand where did I have missing information, people didn't fill stuff out. There's some blanks above because I actually didn't assign every attribute to every person in my event, but it makes it really easy to start to understand where I still have to go collect crew information or need more info from the people I'm collaborating on. So I think I have about 5 seconds left. So with that, I'll go ahead and wrap up. I know it was a ton to throw, so if you have questions, feel free to ask questions, and I'm always happy to jump on a call with anybody if you guys want to learn more.
Wow, you did an incredible job and you were absolutely spot on with the timing. Okay, so quite obviously this is and let's see, let me get my spotlight back in here. Okay, so this was initially built for specifically festivals. So I can see that this is stages, this is talent management, this was music festival type of things, but can be translated into a corporate world when you have complex stage setups across the board. So my question is, can you, a lot of the big companies now have that festivalization of their corporate conference. So they've got a main stage and then they've got satellite stages with super sessions or other things like that. So within this, do you build out a separate stage and have a stage manager run that piece? Or do you duplicate the event for another stage?
Great question. So that's where our areas concept comes in. I didn't get to dive too much into areas with the short timing, but you can build out each of your individual stages. So you can see in my example event here, I've got a few different stages in here, and then I can understand who needs to advance for each of those individual stages and start to jump through the information, see schedules just for those stages, files that are associated with those stages. So you can break out just using areas, each individual stage that you might have. And then with our permissioning system, if you had somebody who's only responsible for that area, you could add in that user and then come down in their permissions and give them access to only one area, or maybe the area and the speakers that they're going to be dealing with inside their room. So they just see that shrunk down version of the information and not necessarily the very overwhelming interface of all the data that we have in here.
That's really cool. Okay, and can you copy details from one event to another and just clone?
Great question. So we actually, hopefully by the end of next week, we'll be able to wrap up all the cloning. Right now, if you need a clone, we just say shoot us an email and we'll clone the event for you. But cloning and templating is something that we're coming around very soon, because we know if you build one event, you're going to do something very similar. We just want to be able to copy all that over so you're not re-entering data.
Okay. I think the second question is also something in your roadmap, which is integration software with calendars. So you showed an Outlook like template. Can you
Yeah.
actually play with it?
Yeah, so there are a few things that we're looking at from calendar integrations. One of them is your ability to just jump into each individual event and export these individually out to your calendar. And then the other one would be actual full service integration with, we'll likely target Google and M365, since most people are between Outlook or either Google for their calendars. So we're looking at the integration side. It's a little harder there. We're definitely going to be giving you that ICS download so you can choose which events or which calendars you want to pull into your own. We also, though, and I didn't even talk about this or get to show it, we do have a mobile app to this as well. So if you want to just throw our app on your phone, you could keep all your calendars in there so you're not cluttering up your personal calendar, and then pull over only the ones you really need to see inside that personal calendar.
That was the very last question there is, does it have a mobile app option to work across tablets, phones, etc.?
Yes.
It does indeed. Okay. And current pricing model, how do you get access to this?
Yeah, great question. So there's kind of a few pieces to that. The first piece is we offer right now a $50 per managing user per month license. And the important distinction there is managing users. So you can invite as many collaborators as you want in, and they can invite their whole team to see all the details. But if you really want to manage the event, add new collaborators areas, those are those managing seats. Right now, we're priced at $50 per each of those seats. We're also flexible in that because we're newer to the market. We want to make sure that we're finding a price that really fits for everybody. So we'll likely also roll out plans that are a little bit cheaper with certain things reduced in functionality. And then also for our really big events, we found a lot of people just want a single bill. So we'll wrap you up a license for a whole event for X number of users and give you one bill that you can pay. That way, if you want to bill this back to an event budget or back to a client for the event that you're using it on, you can also bill it that way.
I love it. All right. 7 seconds remaining. This was spectacular. Any closing words, Andrew?
No, I think that's it. Shoot me a Slack if you ever want to hear more. I'm happy to jump into a deeper demo.
Fantastic. Well done. I'm really proud of you. That was so good.
Thank you.
All right, Faith, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Oh, paging Faith. Okay.
Okay, so let me share my screen here.
There you are.
Yay.
Spotlight. All right, welcome Faith with Event Nation and Gotcha Finder. We are looking at Gotcha Finder today. Starting the clock now, go.
Okay, yes. So Gotcha Finder is a simple concept. If you've ever been surprised by those service fees that you get hit with after an event that you weren't expecting, or you just realize that the contract should have things in it that it doesn't, like maybe a construction clause or other things that pest clauses, heaven forbid. This analyzes your contract before you sign. I mean, I'm sure most of us are aware, but once you sign the contract, you've sort of handed over your power to negotiate to the hotel. So while you still have the power, you want to make sure that you've analyzed the contract for all the issues. So you hit Analyze Contract here, and you'll see this screen. Upload the contract. I've got a real contract here from the Westin in San Diego. Oh, and by the way, I use zero it's called ZDR, zero data retention from our AI supplier. So don't worry about your contract being scanned or saved. It's destroyed within a few hours of upload. If you're really worried about it, here while it's analyzing, I'll show you the contract that I uploaded to see what I did. Is okay, let me stop sharing that screen and I'll share this one. Um, So you'll see in Adobe, I just cut out all the identifying information. It doesn't matter. It can still scan.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go back. To Gotcha Finder. Okay, and while we were away, it found all the gotchas. And so you see the dreaded service charges are definitely in there. And it'll tell you which part of the contract the service charges can be found, give you event industry best practices to deal with them, and then some tips about what to avoid with service fees. And then we're going down through like administrative fees, hotel fees, those dreaded package handling fees, waste management fees, that can be a pain, etc. All those pain points. And then this is cool too, and this is something I'm really proud of, is it tells you what's not in the contract. So this is hard for AI. You may have a question of like, why can't I just use regular old AI to do what you're doing? Well, there's two responses to that objection. And one is that, here, let's go back up. So these gotchas, like the indemnification clause, if you had just used regular old ChatGPT, it would not have this output because this output is from real experienced event planners. So the only thing I'm using AI here for is to scan the contract and note the problems. But then once the problem is noted by AI, it gets kicked over to the human output. And then that is also AI is notorious for not being able to tell you what's not there. In fact, it'll just hallucinate if you ask it what's not there. So I just have JavaScript doing this. It finds what's not there and then again kicks it over to the human output to tell you what you might want to put in the contract to protect yourself and your interests. And it's a pretty simple tool, but a very valuable one, I think. And so I'd be open to any questions, and maybe we'll get done before the 7 minutes.
You did get done before the 7 minutes. Amazing. Okay, so a couple of the questions that are coming in. Obviously, you have built this for hotel contracts, but can it take a look at exhibit contracts? Can it take a look at speaker contracts? What's your limitation?
That's a very good question. So it can look at convention center contracts. It's also designed for that, but speaker contracts, no. I mean, the sky is the limit on this. We could expand it into other types of contracts, but for right now, it's just hotel and convention centers.
Okay. And then you did mention that why wouldn't you just put it in a regular one? So that's a question too. So how does it compare to just dropping it into ChatGPT with where's the knowledge base coming from?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
I'm sorry. The knowledge base is coming from, I hired a team of contractors who were very experienced event planners to put their heads together and say every kind of situation that they'd seen. There's 169 different outputs that you could possibly get. And as this goes along and we get clients telling us what they've found that maybe wasn't in their output, we will increase the outputs.
okay. Yeah. And I know the story that you had told me about one of the great reasons you started it was the hotel contract that was booked 3 years out. And then when they got on site, discovered that the second hotel tower was actually being demolished to go to the event and it was missing basically that construction clause.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That was
So,
a good friend of mine that had that happen. Yeah.
so is this live and being used today?
Yes. It's up, it's live, it's ready to use. And here's the pricing. So it's $34.99 a month for up to 15 contracts, but you can save a lot if you do yearly.
Mhm.
So it's 119 a year if you want to do 15 contracts a month. And then unlimited is 229 a year.
Oh, incredible. So if you're doing contracts left and right, then that's a pretty good deal. So
Yeah.
is it making recommendations on how to fix the clauses? Let's go back through and dissect.
Yeah, let's go back to the output. Oh, it's already gone. But the answer is yes. Um, it recommends what to negotiate and then also gives you little examples of like if you ignore this, this could happen.
Okay. So what were the sections that it was providing for us? It had this was the thing, the problem that it found. It had this
Hmm.
is the reason that it is a problem, and then it had
Right,
recommendation on either how you could renegotiate or how to reword it. Is that what it was?
right.
Amazing.
Hmm.
And let's see, does it provide an export of your output so you can look it over at a later date?
That's a good question. Um, it shouldn't it? They only released this 2 weeks ago, so I'm learning along with you.
That's a great
Um,
idea. So you can pass it over to your lawyer.
it's a great idea. Yeah, I'm going to go to my developer and say we need that feature.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
All right, Faith, how do people find you and get going on it? So if they want to jump in right now.
So it's gotchafinder.ai. When you go there, you'll be asked to create a login with Event Nation. So Event Nation is the first Yelp for corporate events. So no weddings, no party planners. It's just for corporate event planners to find their vendors and venues in 50 different cities in the US. And so you'll be registering for Event Nation and then come back to Gotcha Finder to use the tool.
Okay, perfect. And there's also a question there about if it's built for proposals and SOWs for small business owners, but I think we answered right now it is simply
Yeah,
event venues. So that is
correct.
hotels, venues, convention centers. It is for space. That's where it's built on, right?
Right.
And then does it catch any separate links to PDFs that could be changed post signature?
Links to PDF.
Sean, if you
I'm
want to
not
come
sure
off,
what you're asking. I'm sorry.
Sean, if you want to come off mute and explain that a little more.
Sure, just a separate, does it capture any links in there? So you're signing a contract, but there might be two or three links to separate PDFs that can be changed afterwards. You know, they might be maybe service plus plus fees or anything like that that can be changed. And it says, whoa, wait a minute, you might want to check what those PDFs are all about and have that clarified in the contract instead of just signing a link,
Ah,
signing an approval link.
That's a new one. I know that sometimes hotels add appendices, but I didn't think about links. So we can, as we get it along, if that becomes a bigger issue, we could address that. Thanks a lot for that, Sean.
great.
Yeah,
Thank you. Another question, will it handle international contracts that may have extra special verbiage?
that's a really good question. Yes, it can handle international contracts, but right now we are mostly focused on the American and Canadian markets. So
Okay.
it is designed for that, but these issues are worldwide. But I've heard from international planners.
Yep. And then
Yeah.
finally, would the program be helpful for association meetings? I think it is helpful for, yes, business.
Yes. Actually, I've heard a lot of feedback from association and nonprofit event planners that they love this product.
Fantastic. Well
Yeah.
done, Faith. This was amazing. Thank you. And congratulations on bringing Gotcha Finder to market. It is brand new. So get it,
Yes.
try it, and you're open to feedback, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Please contact me if you have any feedback. This is a learning process for both of us because it's the first of its kind.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
thanks, Faith.
Thank you.
All right, Matthew, are you ready?
As long as you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Oh, I was, and I typically answer that with you can blame my parents, but I was kind of born that way.
All right, all right. I'm super excited for Noonify. Tell us a little bit about what it is and let's go.
Fantastic. So Noonify, which actually stands for Networks Unified, is an event tech platform. where we can help to manage anything from like a little small 10-person get together to a large 50,000 person corporate conference, and everything in between. So I'm actually at a customer event right now here in the Palmer Events Center, Small Business Expo. That's going to actually be part of my presentation today. I will just show you their app in action and also talk a little bit about Noonify along the way.
Okay, let's do it.
Cool. So I'll start sharing from my phone here. And we do everything from registration to ticketing to the event app itself. We offer all kinds of marketing opportunities from a mailer's perspective, and you can also like track what's happening with those mailers. But one quick thing that I do want to show is how easy it is to create an event. So for starters, here, that's the Noonify app. This is an example of our brand ability. So these are all examples of our clients, because we do offer a white label service where you can create your own app. But here within the Noonify app, I'll just kind of show you real quick how to create an event. It's really just as easy as, the event name. So we'll call it a Ichi demo. Event date, let's say the 30th, done. Next, we'll say we want to do a conference event. And then it'll take you through this process right here, let you know everything's happening, applying the theme. And then you can select if you want to go to the registration form or the event app, but I'll just continue as admin for the purpose of this demo. And then the event's created. So looks kind of weird because it is the web we're looking at right now. But if I go out of Noonify and open it back up, we can go find that Ichi demo event that was just created. And obviously the admin portal is where you can change everything that you're seeing, like these pages that are coming up. You can make them relevant to your event, or maybe you want to use that as like sponsorship space that you want to sell. But this is the event that we just created. So you can see we got the countdown timer. We have all kinds of features that are there already, from like the gallery where you can edit, you can change, you can remove all of this. Everyone gets their own calendar, so you can track the events that you're RSVPing for, your own QR code. But yeah, so that is the first part of the 7-minute demo. It is that easy to create an event. You can do it within the app. You can also do that easily on the web as well. And then we'll jump into one of our clients, that the event I'm at right now, which is the Small Business Expo. And you can see here, they do our white label service. So you can see all of the different events. These are the ones that I did last year. This is the one that I am currently at. And this is the Small Business Expo app. So you'll see here, they got like the schedule. These are the things that I have RSVP'd for specifically. There's a place for sponsors, attendee info. They're also kind of trying to sell if you want to exhibit here. They have like a page that's built into here to where you can purchase that service. And then here's like the agenda where you can decide like what events that you want to go to an RSVP for. So, I actually just got out of the speed networking event before I came here because there's something else that I want to show you in regards to that. But these are just kind of all the different events that are here. There's a bunch of people that are set up. So anything that you need for a small business, the Small Business Expo is fantastic. They actually have shows that are all over the US, LA, New York City, Atlanta, Austin, Dallas, like all over pretty consistently. And they all use a different event because we do a subscription model. So with any subscription that you buy, you actually get an unlimited number of events that you can do for however many attendees that you selected. Throughout the 3 months or the year, or if you want to do a long-term, like what we do with small business, like 2 or 3 year contract. But here's an example of the interactive map for this event. So you can get in here and you can see the different venues, the different booths before you go to them. Speed networking right there. That's actually where I just got out of, where you go there and you get 2 minutes with each person and everyone just kind of gives their pitch and then goes on to the next, but you meet a lot of potential customers that way. I actually met somebody, I know I've told you, Liz, I live in Martindale, which is like the tiniest town ever, but I met somebody who lives in Martindale too. And I was like, that's not common. But anyways, speed networking is fantastic. It's one of the best events that I do at all these small business venues, but this actually works with Expo FP. So we have a bunch of different map options. I should say three. This is one of them where you just go build your map on Expo FP, which I know a lot of you are familiar with, and then you just insert that link into our admin portal, and you be able to access the map in our platform that way.
Hmm.
And then also what I want to show, because this is fantastic, it's an add-on. It's called like lead gen or expo booth. So if you have exhibitors or you have sponsors sometimes that are looking to talk to people, generate leads, they want to take notes on what they talked about with that person before they call them back. This is a great example. So when we're in so you have to be like I think it's like a gold badge or above to get this access for this event. But when you use it, you just scan that contact. So I was sitting at that table, scanning all of them. These are all the people that came across me during the 45-minute session, where you can see here, I said, cold, cold, cold. Oh, there was a hot lead, took some notes. He built sales teams. But it's just like a fantastic way to generate leads and then also kind of filter through them automatically with those notes you take, if it's warm, if it's cold, if it's hot. But it's a fantastic addition to any event, especially if you have exhibitors or sponsors that want to pay for it. But I'm not really watching the time. How are we looking?
Great. You have 1 minute.
1 minute. Sweet. So I can show a few other examples here. So they also do like a special offers little option here where you can get in there and just find some discounts that are going on. Pretty cool option as well as you can associate points with almost everything. As you can see here, they've kind of set it up where you can see how to earn points. So here, just by logging in, you get 100 points. Creating your profile to the fullest gives you 200. Adding somebody as a contact. So I got like probably like 1,000 points for all that I did at the speed networking earlier, and you can like check a label, so you can create teams and whatnot. So yeah, I'm doing a trendsetter right now, so I got 700 points with everything that I've done so far. But yeah, so I thought it'd be cool, do something a little bit different, show our app in action. If you want a full-on demo, I would recommend at least 30 minutes, if not an hour, depending on how detailed you want to get. But once again, we're an all-in-one event tech platform. We do it all for quite a bit less than some of the top competitors.
I love this. That was really, really, really great. I hadn't seen this version. So, question number one, you created everything here in the app. You did all these things, and you said really briefly you're looking at the web version. So, tell me about that editing and things like that. Can I jump on my laptop and actually fix it, or do I need to fix it in mobile? How does that part work?
I recommend your computer. You can do it in the web version on your phone, but that same access portal, the web version that you saw when I was creating the event, it's much easier to manage on a computer,
Sure.
whether that's Apple or Windows.
Okay. And then is building it like a WYSIWYG? You drag and drop stuff, or are you toggling things on? How does that work?
A little bit of both. I would say there's kind of like a drag and drop, or you can just click, upload. How you kind of have those options. Move some things around. But for the most part, it's fully brandable. I mean, there's like obviously you're not gonna be able to do like certain custom things, although we can, because we do have a development team, and as long as you're willing to pay for it, whatever that cost might be, like we can do anything from like a custom development. Because brings up another good point. We did start as an app development company 11 years ago, and we've evolved over the last decade plus into an event tech platform. I think we've been doing that specifically for the last 7 or 8 years.
Nice. Can it take payments? Can you charge for events?
Yes, we are. We're looking at some other vendors currently, but as long as you have a Stripe account, you can create and manage tickets, coupons, add-ons, all that good stuff.
Are there any native CRM integrations?
Yes. Salesforce, HubSpot, Impexium, and then also Eventbrite, which I know is not a CRM, but we have a direct integration. And then anything that you can do with Zapier, you can also integrate into our platform as well.
As part of registration, does it have housing and travel tracking? Or is it just like forms, or is it integrate with anything?
So we can integrate with it. We're working on a few, but as we have it right now, we have like what's called briefcase items, where you can load in like with templates, you can like load in that information automatically, so people can see on their profile, when their flight is, like what table they're sitting at for dinner, like whatever you're looking for. But yes, you can load that into everyone's profile.
And then can you have different registration paths for different cohorts, exhibitors versus speakers versus attendees?
Sure, it's pretty custom in that way. It's really how you want to design it.
Possible to do group registrations? I'd like to add someone else from my company and someone else from my company.
We do offer like plus ones and stuff like that. So yeah, as long as you set it up that way, you can do that. Yep.
Okay. And then the $64,000 question, how do we find the pricing model?
Noonify.com/pricing. It's all there. But we also have a number of different add-ons. You can always reach out to me, Matthew@noonify.com. Or there's easily ways that you can book demos with us online, which I'm happy to be the one that gives you a demo if you're looking for it.
Absolutely fantastic. Well done. Perfect timing.
Sweet.
Good job. That was fun. Thanks.
I like to keep things interesting.
Well, good luck on the rest of Small Business Expo. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Oren, we are throwing you into the deep end now. Oren got into Club-ichi about 48 hours ago, and I was like, cool, come show your stuff. He's like, okay.
Yeah, I did not know what I was signing up for. I'm like, oh, a demo. This will be just so cozy, sweet. And now I'm like, oh, is this Shark Tank? What's going on?
You have a teeny tiny audience of 30 incredible people eager to see what you got going. So, Oren, tell us about Whirl.
Yeah, so hi everyone. It's nice to join this group. Whirl is a mainly an app that I built this year, and it's very daunting to have just gone after Matthew because mine is also an event app and not anywhere near as polished as what he has. Mine is more of is MVP, right? Trying to test it out and see if it's got legs. And it's got two things to it. And the impetus of why I started it was I used to go to events back when I was in ad tech a long time ago. I'd go to a lot big conferences, and I needed to find out, people who I can do business with. There weren't too many event apps at the time, but I remember walking around like Moscone Center in San Francisco, just going like, I don't know anyone here. Who could I be doing business? This is overwhelming. I wish I knew who was here. And so the idea was, well, I want an app that tells me who's around, kind of like a mini LinkedIn profile. And so I got laid off from my job last year, and so I've spent this year just building this dream app, which I know has a lot of competition. But the basics is it shows you who's around within a few hundred feet. And so if you're checked into an event, see all the other people who are at the event within a few hundred feet of you. Yes, and I did add things like you can see who registered, right? So like I think a lot of events will say who else is going to be at the event. But the thing that I think is different and what I latch on to is like I actually want to know who's here now. I want to do face-to-face business. I don't want to know who just RSVP. They might not be showing up for another 2 hours and I might be gone by then. So the app, which I'll show you, just says, who's here right now? And obviously you choose to be visible, you choose to be on the app. It's something you download. And the 3 points that I really look at for networking is who's around, and the app will show you that. How do I reach them? You can instant message them right through the app if you don't see them visually. And then third is, well, what if we have a good conversation? Let's keep it going. Great. There's a digital business card aspect logged in so you can get their email, phone number, whatever.
Let's
So
see
that
it.
was the heart. Yeah, so that was the heart of it. And the last thing I'll just mention is kind of like the part of trying to do good is you don't have to be in an event to use the app. So if you're just working from home at a coffee shop, you might be feeling social. You can still be visible, and anyone who's not in an event, also in the coffee shop the area, can come. So you might have a chess set and just say, hey, they want to play chess. And so it's really a way to get people to back face to face. So it doesn't have to just be at events. All right, let me share my screen and see if I can do this right. Sorry, I probably just used up a lot of my time doing
You
that.
did. Let's see it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay. Can you see the website?
Yes.
Okay. So quickly, bare bones, but as an event organizer, I'm kind of going to be looking things like Meetup. So you can kind of create your own events. So I'm not going to harp too much on it because I want to show you the apps. Are you able to see these phones that I'm
Yes.
pulling onto
Yeah,
the
they look
screen?
great.
Okay. So here are just 3 demo folks. Let me just blow these up to make sure you can see them. So you make your profile. You can put in your business card information. It's only shared if you give your business card. Why are you here? And so right now, if I just say who's nearby, you'll see that these two see each other. This person sees Mike, this person sees Oren, this person sees no one. She's in a different state, right? So she's not in the area. But if we take her and we move her to that same area, sorry, give a second. Hopefully when we refresh, she's come in. Well, let's see if she shows up. But basically, people near each other see each other. If I see Oren, I can, and there'd be a list of a lot of people. Obviously, there's only 3 here, so you're not seeing them. But here's someone around me. I go, oh, that's a company I'm interested in, or this is a headline. I can click into them. I can click to see their LinkedIn profile. It would deep link into the app if you had it, or go to the website. I'm just not logged in on this emulator. You can visit their website, so whatever it is. So here, oh, this is the company. And then of course you can send a message, right? So I can just say, oh, hey, Oren, I'm at this event also. Can we meet up in 5 minutes at the Starbucks stand? And that's how you can get it going. So it's as simple as that, right? Who's around me, messaging them. And then again, if it goes well, great. I can share my business card. It's a QR code for scan, and you get the option of, oh, with this person, I'm going to give you my, personal email, but not my phone number. And that's going to be the QR code I share with you. With someone else, it might be, I'm just going to give you my LinkedIn website. I don't want to give you any of my personal information. So with each person, you can give what you want. And then as you get cards, you can save them and add notes as you're saving them. So, remember to follow up next week with the call. And so you can have that for future when you go back after the event to look at your business cards, kind of that refresher. So the last part I'll mention is you can see what are events around you. So in this case, I just copied one off Meetup, but here you can see what are local events, right? I want people to be able to see what activities. How am I on time, Liz? If I'm wrapped up, I won't go any further.
2 minutes.
Okay, but the idea is also with the app, just who's around me in general, as I mentioned, but also are there any activities? You might be between classes at school and so you might see you can post, or anyone, or you can see other people's posts within a few blocks. It says like, we're doing a pickup basketball game, come join us. There's a play in the park right now, it's free. And so it's just a way to see if you're just walking around town or in your neighborhood, what's going on. I have free time, I'd love to be social. So it's a way to explore local events. And of course, the monetary part will come from event organizers, hopefully wanting to use me instead of someone like Meetup in the future. They can create these events that people can see as local events, or by doing city searches, you can see like where there are events. And the payoff there that I'm hoping that can differentiate me from some competitors will be, as people check into your events versus, let's say, Meetup, I can then give you data on events. So if you go to reports, I can show you, I don't think I have really any, any in here, but just idea would be that I can tell you, how many attendees did you have? When did you have peak people showing up? What was the average length of stay? I can show you, anonymous level, like how many people posted on a feed at your event or started conversations. So you can see if the app helped your event get people connected. You can also see just that data that you might not find through Meetup or Eventbrite because they don't have that live data analysis of events. So that's where the business part comes in. I'll probably just end it there.
Yeah. So is it pulling in only people who have created their own profile?
So yes, so you have to download the app and create a profile. So it's not like a web app where you can just jump right in. You have to download it from the App Store. And to get this data, people have to check in. So, you have an event, they show up, it's location based. They can't check in unless they're actually there. But once they are, then I can start capturing, how many people are showing up, when are they showing up, things like that.
So you would send out a note to the attendees in advance and you would say, download this if you want to find the people that are going to be there. So you're going to have everybody there. Then they're going to show up. And once they're there, they just open the app and check in to say, hey, I'm here. And at that point, it's going to start notifying people. Now, if I'm at like IMEX, which is a 17,000 person event in Las Vegas, and I want to make sure that anyone who's using this app can find my event that night, I can just create an event, or how could I make sure that my ancillary event is findable?
So if you are an event organizer, then you can create an event, um, right here on the website. So you can create a new event
So
and
like Eventbrite style.
yeah, exactly. And this
Okay.
is again, MVP. This is not my world. You guys will blow me away with, probably how naive some of this might sound. But this is just, the start of the business. So you can create your own event here. And in addition, as I mentioned, you could, if you are at an event, you could and this has no cost, so an event attendee, you can create your on-the-spot pop-up event but it starts when you hit save, and you can say something like, hey, if you see this right now, I'm giving a talk on AI and event planning. Come meet me at X, and you can post that, and that will show up now for anyone who's within a few blocks will see your pop-up event. So even if you're at IMEX, um, for free, you can post your own mini event within it to try and get people who you want to meet to come to you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there potentially a future opportunity to collaborate with other apps that already exist? Because this is built out to have some very unique features that the ones that are already in an event app that perhaps the attendees are already having to download may not have. So thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm open, because I'm looking for work also. So if I could join a company that's doing something, I'm all
Oh, you
in.
can buy Orin and his intellectual property.
But
I love this.
that that's right. Here's the thing where I try and turn some of these things on their heads. I'm not a fan of single-use apps. I don't want to go to an event, download an app for it, have to register, and then have that be stale to me 5 days later once it's over.
Mhm.
So the way I look at these things is I want people to use my app in general, but as an event, you can plug in, you can create an event and you're feeding into the app. So now when people come to your event, I'm like, hey, guess what? 70% of people at your event are already on my app. There's nothing for them to re-register. There's no pain point there. They just check in and, it's an event app that's just packed right into a general use app. And that's another angle I'm going for to like solve that hurdle of getting people to have to download an app every time they go to an event.
Yeah, it's like having LinkedIn already on your phone. So this is just
Yes.
there and it shows up. Okay. Very good. All right. So of course, right now, your $64,000 question, what is the cost?
There's no, it's all free right now because I'm testing it out. I'm actually just looking for feedback. My goal is to do a subscription basis. I'm looking more for long tail. I'm not going to compete against Cvents and some of these big names, but they're also charging $10,000 up for apps. So I'm hoping maybe somewhere between 1 and 200 a month, depending on where I can get. That says like unlimited events and just that subscription fee. Um, so I really want to hit long tail people who can't afford to spend even $1,000 on a one-time app. Like, well, could you afford $100 a month? And maybe this is a little more bare bones, but you can afford it.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Oren. I really appreciate it. And thanks for jumping in at the last minute and filling a spot that I needed to fill. Your brave, brave soul. So I'm going to open this up for everybody. I'll remove all of the spotlights and everyone can ask their questions. Heather came in with a question in the end here for Oren. Once you download and sign in, are you always visible or can you choose to not show up for people?
That's right. So there's a toggle switch, so you can be on the app, but make yourself invisible. So now if you're invisible, no one sees you, but there's also you can't see them. So I have this like no stalker policy, but you can still then be on the app to look at business cards, what are events around, things like that.
Amazing. All right, it is now free for all. Anyone who has questions that didn't get answered, I invite you to come off mute and throw them out there. Cue the Jeopardy theme. Do, 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 do.
I guess real quick while we're waiting, if there's any questions, one thing I did want to mention, I talked pricing, but I didn't mention that we do have full open free trial packages right now for anyone who wants to click around on Backup. So if you're interested in just clicking around and see what it might do for you, that's also available. Just hit me up and I can get you set up.
Very good, Andrew. Thank you. All right. And for any of our companies that do have a Club Ichi discount or offer or anything like what Andrew just said, you guys send them over to me. I'll drop them in the Slack and put them in Circle so that the folks that are here today can get something. And then our insiders also have that opportunity to reach out to you. I'll hold out for just one more moment, see if there's any other questions.
I was just wondering, when will Bubble be able to present?
Yeah, Haley, I responded to you. So if you'll look at that private message that I sent you, that would be
Okay.
awesome. I'd love to get you in November or December.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks. Oh, I didn't see it. Okay, thank you.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much for joining. Thank you so much for our 4 contestants. This recording will be available so you can go back and watch the demo again. And be sure to reach out to our friends on Slack or directly. I've dropped their LinkedIn in the chat as well. Y'all have a great Halloween tomorrow and have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you,
Thanks
Liz.
again, everybody.
Thanks all.
Bye.